What is up, guys? M.V.K back again for some more comic reviews. And today on this comic review, guys, we're going to go into the world of What If. And I'm here to talk about the first two issues that I have read of What If Miles Morales. So we're talking about the first issue of What If Miles Morales was Captain America, became Captain America, and What If Miles Morales became Wolverine. Um, So we're gonna talk about that. I'm sorry about that pause. I wanted to say something. And I had a brain fart. But yeah, I want to talk about this. So in so we're gonna kind of break this up a little bit into the stories. Okay, so in the first one, Captain, what if Miles Morales became Captain America? The story basically is that there was a Captain America in this world. Steve Rogers was Captain America, but on the fateful mission, he died. So he was killed. They restarted the Super Soldiers program later on, and Miles's dad and Uncle Aaron were a part of revitalizing it. They were, and Miles' uncle took the vial that had the super soldier serum in it home, and I believe he was going to use it on himself. Yeah, see, even in this world, Uncle Aaron is scheming. But young Miles, a very young Miles, runs over to Uncle Aaron's house, and I'll show you kind of what happens. He runs over to Uncle Aaron's house, and you can see it right here. He's like, "Yo, Uncle Aaron, I need something to drink. I'm going in your fridge." And he sees the vial. He thinks it's just like soda, and he just sniffs it, the fumes, and all of a sudden, boy, that boy grew and got thick. So he and everybody's kind of concerned, and even then, he gets trained by Uncle Aaron, and he becomes Captain America. And later on, we see him now in his kind of Bucky's Captain America costume, and he's in Russia fighting. It looks like Black Widows. And it's in this mission he thinks Uncle Aaron got killed. But then we go present, and he's got a partner, the Falcon, in the red, white, and blue. Her name is Tiana. And in this world, as you can see, they're fighting the Prowler, who we all know is another version of is Uncle Aaron. In this world, the director of Shield is Sam Wilson. There he is, which is really interesting, and we get to see different versions of characters in this world. For example, we get to see them go after Lonnie Lincoln, aka Tombstone, but here he's called Lonnie Ludwig Lincoln, aka the Gray Skull, who also took the super soldier serum, but it did other things. So they basically made made Tombstone basically. I guess he's half German or half black. It's just weird. Genki in this world is the he is the, what is he again? He's the Tinkerer. And one of my favorites is where Miles is talking to his family about what's going on, and then Falcon, Tiana comes in and talks to like, did you tell your mom that we're dating and things like that. So Captain America and the Falcon are dating. This is really funny. Um, and we see, certain things like, symbiotes and, the cosmic cube. And of course, Uncle Aaron, as the Prowler when he finally realizes that. Um, it's really interesting. It was fun. It was a fun issue, just to see how they would mesh up the characters and mesh up how they would do how's Miles Captain America if this they did leave out some things like well Cap was there but what happened to Bucky, things like that. Paco Media's artwork was fine. I always did enjoy his artwork, and Cody Ziegler is the writer. But there's one thing that's really cool after they shut down the Cosmic Cube from the Gray Skull. Miles sees different versions of himself throughout the time or so, and it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun, and then that leads us to issue number 2. What if Miles became Wolverine? I like his costume. It's a mixture of X-Men Evolution, but it's very more urban. His hoodie. He doesn't have. He looks like he's just got big combat boots on. So in this universe, Miles is a mutant. He is a mutant. This was probably the best out of the first two. I like this story better because guess who writes it? John Ridley. John Ridley writes this, and in this issue, it takes place in the 80s. It takes place in Atlanta, Georgia, 1981, and in the city of Atlanta, there's a crisis going on. There are a lot of kids going missing, and not just any kids, but they all happen to be African American. Now, Miles in this, he is dealing with certain things, and one of the things is his hands. His hands continue like itch, and he hasn't told his parents. As you can see here, he's scratching, and then of course we see that. He wants to tell his mom Rio, but she's like, we'll talk later. She's grading papers, and we can see that Jeff and Aaron argue over some things, and of course, Miles is like, "Dad, my hands, my hands are aching," and Jeff just snaps at him, and things like that. So Miles goes out, to take a walk. Maybe his dad will cool off, and a van is pulling up beside him, and he gets kidnapped. And that was in 81. Fast forward basically 40 some years later, we're in Rhineland, Wisconsin, 2002, and we see Miles now in full costume, and they're Sentinels, and the Sentinel says, "Don't move, mutant." I can't do the voice. Basically saying that Miles is a murderer. He killed a senator, and Miles is like, no. And we get to see Miles being Wolverine. And later on, we see that S.H.I.E.L.D. has sent out one of their best to hunt down him. And you see that right there? This artwork is really good. It's really good. See, this dude who's in armor, his armor is adamantium as well, and it's weird. The one thing I will say that's weird about this is that though he's Wolverine, he Miles gets his butt handed to him a lot in this, by this assailant who just is whooping his ass. Like you can see right here, like just whooping his ass. And then of course, when we finally get to see who this person is, look who it is. It's Jeff. Miles's dad just beat up his son. And we get the backstory of what happened. He got so bitter after Miles was kidnapped, or that Rio couldn't take it. He pushed her away and things like that. So he joined up with Shield, and we find out who the person is running Shield is also the person that basically turned Miles into a Wolverine. And then of course, which to me was a little bit of a cop out, Uncle Aaron's in this world is Sabretooth. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a cop out, but it basically, the whole concept of this is just to show, you know, what happens when you become the monster, and that they play that emphasis really much in this issue, like, you know, becoming a monster. And we see Miles, you know, basically, you know, Uncle Aaron is Sabretooth is about to kill his own brother, and here's Miles. You know, they kind of went the whole route, you know, with the bone claws. He had Adam Kenny, and then the bone claws come out, and then he was gonna he's gonna cut off Uncle Aaron's head, and you know, Jeff, his father, tells him, and I love this. He's like, I love this. He says, look at all of us. Look at what we are. Nothing but monsters, trapped in the past. We can't let go. It has to stop, Miles. It can't go on like this, please. And you see Miles sheath his claws back in. And Miles buries his dad, and he basically says, which I thought this was really touching scene. He's like, never got to tell you goodbye. It's all right, you know. It's all right. You're alive. Knowing that you're alive, find your mother. Tell her I'm sorry. You know, Miles, you will never be a monster as long as you choose good over bad, love over hate, and always be my son. And you see him just die. And then of course, the person that was responsible, who was I guess you could say the head of Weapon X, also, you know, he's also part of Shield. It says, you know, you did this to me, you made me into this. My wife never liked me because his face is all scarred up. And then it kind of jumps the shark with me right here. Is all of a sudden, Miles hears someone say, Miles Morales. My name is Yankee Lee. You may call me Professor Xavier. And we have a proposition for you. Okay, Mr. Ridley. In what your mind, Genki is, in this world, Genki is Professor Xavier. That doesn't make any sense, because the whole Professor X made sense because that his name was Xavier. Genki he doesn't even have an X in his name. His name is Genki Lee. So where does that? It was that made me crack up. Like, I had to put the book down when I read that. I was like, yo, come on, man. I did like this issue better, but as Wolverine, Miles is no Wolverine. He's not a good fighter. It kind of played more off of. I wouldn't be surprised if John really took a lot of information of Miles as Wolverine from Wolverine in the movies, because Hugh Jackman Wolverine couldn't fight too good either. I was just like, let's be honest, he couldn't. But the next issue is what if Miles becomes the Hulk, and I'm looking forward to seeing that, reading that. but I really enjoyed this. It was fun. Out of the two so far that I have read, I'm still gonna go with issue number two. What if Miles became Wolverine? I've always been a fan of the What If series, and this is just a part of it that I'm really enjoying. Um, and I know they're doing something also with Spider Gwen, kind of like in the same. I'll talk about that later. But outside of that, guys, you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you think? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you reading this What If miniseries? And if you are, tell me what you think about it. And as always, guys, this is M.V.K. Say peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real, guys. Deuces.